AutoSys Workload Automation installation in single server mode on Linux with an Oracle database. In this module, we will learn how to install AutoSys Workload Automation in single server mode on Linux using an Oracle database and validate the installation. The following are prerequisites when installing AutoSys Workload Automation Server. To perform an AutoSys installation on Linux, log in as sudo or root user. Check whether the IP address returned by the hostname command matches the IP address returned by the nslookup command. Confirm that the computer where you plan to install the AutoSys Workload Automation Server can connect to the database using one of the database Oracle client utilities. The database must be created before the installation. A user with database administrator permissions is required to create AutoSys database objects during installation. Ensure the Oracle vendor file tnsnames.ora on Linux has world-readable access. chmod 644. An instance of CAEM must be installed and accessible. The IAM admin administrator user password is required during installation. If there is not enough space in the $tempter directory, set the IA-tempter environment variable to configure the temp location to a path with sufficient space. For more detailed information, please refer to the AutoSys Workload Automation documentation. In this video, we will install AutoSys on Linux with an Oracle database. Before starting the installation process, we validate the connectivity with all the required components. Let's start by validating if we have connectivity to the CAEM server and the database server. We ping the CAEM server. We received a response. We can reach the CAEM server. Let's try to ping the database server now. We received a response. We have connectivity to the database server. The next step is to validate that the ports used to connect to CAEM and the database server are open. We send a telnet command to the CAEM server with the port defined during its installation, 5250. We received a response. We can connect to CAEM through the port. We do the same with port 1521 of the database server. We received a response. The port is open. Now let's validate that we have connectivity with the Oracle database. We enter a TNS ping command followed by the TNS alias and get an OK response. Now, we log into the database to verify we can start a session. We execute a SQL+ command followed by the system user, password, and TNS alias. We have logged into the database. We have verified that we can connect and log into the database correctly. Our last validation is to verify the CAEM administrator user. To do this, we open a browser and log into CAEM with the administrator user. The user logged in successfully. We have validated the CAEM administrator user. We log out of CAEM and return to Linux. Now we validate that the AutoSys for Linux ISO file that we downloaded is correct. we generate the checksum value for the file. Let's open the PDF checksum file and copy the MD5 checksum value. Now we compare the two values, the first generated from the ISO file and the PDF value. Both values match. The ISO file is correct. It downloaded successfully. Now, let's mount the disk. The disk is mounted, and we can start the AutoSys installation. We navigate to the DVD directory and run the install program. We wait until the program launches. The installation wizard will appear. Press Enter to continue. Type 0 to skip to the end. And select Y to accept the license agreement. Press Enter key to choose option 1 for product installation. Enter 2 to select the custom installation. The Express option presents us with fewer installation options. With the custom option, we can further configure the installation according to our requirements. Press Enter key to select the default Java installation included with the product. Now, we get the selected components list for the AutoSys server installation. Press Enter key. The installation path appears. Press Enter to choose the default option. The shared components installation path appears. Press Enter key to choose the default. The AutoSys instance name appears. Press Enter to keep the default ACE. In this demo, we will use the default key for instance-level data encryption. However, this is not recommended in a production environment. For production environments, the best practice is to select the option to encrypt data using a user-defined key. Press Enter to use the instance-level encryption values also for the agent. Select No not to enable FIPS 142 encryption. We are not going to install AutoSys and clustering now. Press Enter to select the No option. For the database, select option 2 for Oracle. Select No for not installing dual event servers. We will install a single event server. For this demo, we will use option 1, password with transparent network substrate, TNS, for the Oracle authentication method, but you can choose the option that best suits your installation. Select option 1 to create the database schema. For this demo, we will select option 3 Oracle Managed Files, OMF, for Oracle Storage Management. You can choose the option most appropriate for your installation. Select option 1 to create the table space, database user, and roles. Enter the previously verified TNS alias name to access the Oracle database. We enter the database server name. For the database port, we leave the 1521 default. This is the Oracle home directory. In the admin directory where the tnsnames.ora file is located, we leave the default for both. The Oracle admin user, in this case we will use sys, to create the AutoSys database schema and users. and the sys user password. Here, we provide the AutoSys username who will be the schema owner. We leave the default AEDB admin user and the password. The table space name. We leave the default. Here, we need to provide the AutoSys database user. We leave the default AutoSys. And we enter the password. Now, the CAEM server name. And the CAEM administrator user password. The auxiliary port for the scheduler component. We leave the default 7507. We are not going to implement high availability at this moment. Press Enter to select the default No option. The application server name, in this case, is this same server AEPRI. The default application server port. And the auxiliary port. We leave both as default. The REST API port, leave the default. The agent's name. We leave the default, but it can be modified later if needed. We select the No option. We will not activate port multiplexing for the agent now. We leave the default 7520 agent listening port. We are not going to activate SNMP at this moment. If this agent will interact with additional application servers, we include the port number list here. In this case, we leave just the default 9000. We only have one application server at this moment. Here, we enter the owner and group for the AutoSys files. We leave the default AutoSys for both. Press Enter to select the default option 1 to create AutoSys owner user and group. Now, we choose if we want to start the AutoSys services just after the installation. Press Enter to select the No option. Here, we press Enter to start the services automatically at system startup. Press Enter to accept the default to start all the services. This section is to activate the product. Press Enter to select the Yes option. We enter the company domain, usually the last part of the company's email address. For example, we enter the Broadcom.com domain. Now we enter the company's site ID. It is your company's Broadcom assigned ID. It is listed on the Broadcom support portal. We enter 0 just as an example. And an optional internal identifier in case you use one for internal cost tracking. Here, we indicate if we want to send Broadcom telemetry data about product license usage. Press Enter to send telemetry data. The AutoSys scheduler sends telemetry data to Broadcom through port 443. You can optionally secure this port by using a proxy server to allow only authenticated access. We are now ready to start the installation. Here we can see the installation summary information. We can see where the installation logs will be written to. The installation type. In this case, it will be a fresh custom installation. Press Enter to move forward with the installation summary or 0 to move to the end. Then, press Enter to begin the installation and wait until it completes. The installation has been completed successfully. We copy this URL to use it later when we install the Web UI component. And we have also here the location of the installation logs. Press Enter to exit the installer. And let's go to the logs directory. We go to the installation path. And then go to the logs directory. Here we have the AutoSys installation logs. This is the installation summary with all the options we selected to install. This is the installation detail log with the messages generated during the installation process. In case of an error or doubt about the installation, we can use this log to get more information. Also, there is a separate installation log for components like CAPKI, Common Components, and Web Component. And this is the AutoSys installation path. Now, let's verify the installation. First, with the ustat command, we check if the services are active. They are not active. We start the services with the uni srv cntr start all command. The agent starts. The application server starts. The scheduler starts. And the web server starts. Let's check again if the services are running. All 4 AutoSys services are running now. Now, we enter a su AutoSys command. Go to the AutoSys installation path. And load the environment variables. We enter the command chk_auto_up with the option R, followed by 111 to know the status of the application server, event server, and scheduler. There is connectivity with the database, the event server. The application server is running, and the scheduler is running. Let's go to the logs. Enter the AutoSys log command with the E option to open the event log. We can see the machine AEPRI is online, and the agent is running. Let's see the application server log. The application server is running. Let's list the machines defined using the autorep command. We have the AEPRI machine. Let's verify if we have jobs defined. We don't have jobs defined yet. We define a test job using the JIL command. We enter the job name and the machine where the job will run, in this case, the current machine. The job has been created successfully. Now, we run the job using a send event command with the 4-star job option. We open the event log to see if the job ran. We can see the job was executed successfully. Let's check the job status. We enter the auto-rep command to list the job. And here we can see the job is in success, SU status. With this, we have verified the product was installed successfully. We have completed now the installation of AutoSys on a Linux server with an Oracle database. In this module, we have learned prerequisites and considerations for AutoSys Workload Automation installation, how to install AutoSys Workload Automation in single server mode on Linux with an Oracle database, how to locate the AutoSys Workload Automation installation logs, and how to validate the installation.